Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to Learn English Live. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, depending on where you are located. So, good night, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Learn English Live. I am Cheri, and I will be your teacher for this lesson. Let's take a look at the chat and see who we have here. I was looking earlier in the chat and saw that it was quite active, so it's great to see the students here chatting with one another. Of course, we're talking about cheese. Hello, Alyssa. Great to see you. And Jonathan. Thank you to our subscribers. Your subscription to Learn English Live allows Robin to continue to provide chat groups and lots of other things for students that are free. So thank you so much for subscribing. And so we've got Dwee. Hello, Dwee. It's great to see you. Mia or Maya, nice to meet you. I don't think I have seen you before. It's great to see you here. Gertrudis, welcome, Gertrudis. It's fantastic to see you joining us today. All right, everyone. So, as I mentioned in the chat, this lesson is going to be on prepositions of location. So the lesson is going to be more of a beginner to intermediate level. And so if we get through it fairly quickly, then we can do some Q&A, some questions and answers. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me and see me? I see the feed on my phone, but if you guys could let me know that you hear me and see me, that would be great. We'll let a few more people hopefully hop in and join us before we get started with our lesson. I don't see some of our regular students here yet, but hello, May. Hello, May. Thank you for being a subscriber. May, Gertrudis, thank you so much for being subscribers. And Jonathan and Dwee, thank you. And of course, we have some of our celebrities, such as Alyssa here. I'm looking to see if you guys can comment that you see me and hear me. Loud and clear. Perfect, Gertrudis. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, Alyssa, you hear me. Right. Okay, so I'm going to give the star. I'm telling you, Alyssa, I'm giving you a star right now. I'm holding it up to the camera, and it has a little smiley face on it. You get the star for being the first student to comment in the chat. Ding, ding. Star for you. Okay, I hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get started with our lesson. Hello, Samira. We are going to talk about prepositions in this live lesson. So I wanted to share with you the definition from the Oxford Learners Dictionaries, which does include the IPA of how to pronounce the word preposition. So preposition is a grammar term. It's a word or a group of words. And for some examples, we have in, from, to, out of. All of these are prepositions that are used before a noun or a pronoun, and they show place, position, time, or method. This lesson today is going to focus on prepositions that are used for transportation. So I have a Bitmoji of me on this slide showing me in a, what is this called, guys? Alyssa, it is a black vehicle that is very long. It's longer than most vehicles, and it has very dark windows, and someone drives in the front where you sit way in the back. What is this vehicle called, guys? Type in the chat if you know the word for this mode of transportation. I will take a look and see. Hello, Layla. It's great to see you. This is a mode of transportation that I have never actually been in before. I'm doing well, Layla. Yes, Gertrudis, you are right. It is a limousine. A limousine. Okay, so Mia does not hear me. Yes, A for Anna, and Anna did spell limousine correctly. Mia, I am sorry you don't hear me. Is everyone else hearing me okay? Guys, can you let me know? Is everyone else hearing me? Let me know if you cannot hear me right now. Dwee, you are in a limousine car right now? Wow, you are so dedicated. You're watching YouTube to learn English in a limo. Wow, I never have been in a limousine. I would love to ride in one sometime. Okay, so here I am. I am riding in the limo. Okay, great. Mia, I'm sorry. Maybe you're having some connection issues. So let's continue to learn more about using prepositions to help us with modes of transportation. So students, it's confusing. I had one of my students on one of my social media platforms say, Cheri, why is it that I get in a car? Why do I get in a car, but I get on a bus? Why is that? And that's a great question. It's confusing. Why can't we just say, okay, let's get in the bus and go? Yes, Anna, limo is the abbreviated form for limousine. Many people refer to a limousine as a limo. So Layla, you never get to ride in the limousine either. Okay, so let's learn ways to use the prepositions to indicate location and transportation. Let's take a look at the definition of the word in and how it relates to modes of transportation. So, at a point, yes, those are part of the issues, yes. But if we just talk about whether you can walk on something, there are other things that you can walk on that we don't say on or in. It gets confusing. So let's review all the different ways. Yes, Anna, you can stand on a bus. That's correct. So we'll go over all of those things. And Maya, I don't know why you can't hear me. Check your sound settings, because I think everyone else can hear. Okay, so in, the definition of the preposition in, at a point within an area or space, within the shape of something, surrounded by something. Okay, and into something. Alyssa, thank you for being so honest. I did not see that Anna was there first. Okay, in the future, Anna, type in the comments to let me know you're there. But Anna is normally our first to arrive to our lessons. Thank you so much, Alyssa. So into something or in. Here is my Bitmoji, and it's showing me getting in a pipe. Anna, I did a live stream last week too. So you can check out that recorded playback on Learn English Live from my lesson last week. So in, I have toys in my basket. I have a basketball, and a shark, and a tiger, all kinds of things in my basket. Yes, Anna, I think that's a great idea. Sharing the star sounds perfect. Okay, so let's move on and talk about the definition of on. When we use the word on to show a means of transport, it means in or into a position covering, touching, or forming part of a surface. So I have a photo here, Alyssa, of another Bitmoji of myself with a cat on my head. Now, I don't have a cat, but cats tend to want to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and they sit sometimes on your head, on your shoulder. Dogs tend to be better listeners, I think. So I'm more of a dog lover than a cat lover, but cats are nice too. Okay, so on as a way of transportation. Hello, Ria. Hello, great to see you join us. Thanks for joining. Yes, I'm not going to sing the song because I'm not going to get in trouble. Why do we use in, the preposition in relation to modes of transportation? So here we have some different examples. I focused more on some concrete examples. I did see some of you type in the chat box other things like when you can stand in a mode of transportation versus sit. But in, when a noun is inside a small mode of transportation. So use this in for box or bowl shapes of transportation. We also have private transportation. So we're going to use the preposition in for private transportation. In general, we will use the preposition in for smaller modes of transportation that are private, that are bowl or box shaped, that you ride in. Hello. Thank you so much. Poland, fantastic. So let's take a look at specific examples of when we are going to use the preposition in for modes of transportation. So we have our cars, our truck, our SUV, which is referred to as a utility vehicle because we can do lots of things with it, and a minivan or a regular van. This is an actual van. Minivans are a bit smaller than this. A taxi, yes. So Anna, a taxi cab is something that we get in. We get in the taxi to go to the store. Oh, good, Mia. I'm so glad that you were able to fix your sound. We also get in a wheelchair. We put a small child or an infant, a baby, in a stroller. And remember how we talked about bowl or box shape modes of transportation? A wagon is something we get in. And then we also have a canoe, which is a mode of transportation for water, a canoe, a kayak, and a rowboat. RV, I like that, Alyssa. Yes, an RV is a recreational vehicle. We get in the recreational vehicle. That is a private mode of transportation, the RV. Let's get in the RV and go. Okay. So why do we use on for modes of transportation? Why do we use on? So here are some reasons why we use on. We use on top of a small mode of transportation. So on is for when we are riding on top of a small mode of transportation. And we'll do specific examples in a moment. When we are inside a large vehicle, like a bus. And we use on for modes of transportation that can be public transportation. So they are transporting many different people from one place to another at the same time. So some examples of types of transportation or modes of transportation that we would use the preposition on for are things like a bicycle and a tricycle. So guys, can you type in the chat box and tell me what's the difference between a bicycle and a tricycle? Great example sentence, Dwee. What is the difference between a bicycle and a tricycle? And Alyssa, I have a Bitmoji on this page of myself looking fabulous on a bicycle with no shoes, but I am holding my fist in the air as if to say, yeah, and I am popping a wheelie. What that means is the bicycle is elevated, the front wheel is off the ground, and the back wheel is on the ground. I'm popping a wheelie is what we call that. Yes, so Gertrudis and Alyssa, the difference between a bicycle and a tricycle is that a tricycle has 3 wheels. Another thing I would like to share with you is the term we use for when young children are just beginning to learn how to ride a bike. They have what are called training wheels on the bicycle. So I am not a very good artist, but I'm going to share with you guys. Let me show you. I will draw something for you. If I can get to my whiteboard. Perfect. Okay, so if I were to draw a bicycle for you that has 2 wheels, here we have the 2 wheels of the bicycle, and we have a seat and handlebars. Okay, but if we have a small child, and these are called spokes, these are the spokes of the bicycle. It's the metal pieces that go from the center of the bicycle out to the edges. They're called spokes. When children are first learning how to ride a bicycle, they will often have what are called training wheels on the back. And these are additional wheels that are placed on both sides of the back tire. They're smaller, but they provide extra stability so the bicycle won't fall over to one side or the other. The training wheels give the young child stability, so all they have to do is pedal. They don't have to balance themselves on the bicycle at the same time. So Anna says that a bicycle is for 2. Basically, the bicycle has 2 and a tricycle has 3 wheels. Yes. And Anna, you have how about an airplane on a flight? You get on an airplane. It is a large mode of transportation that is public transportation. Tasha, that is a good point. I have not read that before. So besides the bicycle and the tricycle, we also have the motorcycle or motorbike and a moped. Yes, Layla, store that away in your head, in your mind. Bicycle, bi, B-I, is a prefix that means 2. Tri, T-R-I, is a prefix that means 3. That's how we can remember that. So a motorcycle or motorbike, which are not the same thing, they are slightly different, and a moped, which is also similar but different. Then we have horse. We can go for a ride on a horse. Here is my horse. We can ride on a skateboard. My son has a skateboard. He likes to ride on his skateboard. Then we also have a Segway. Does anyone know how to describe what a Segway is? Segway. Let's see if anyone knows what a Segway is. I'll wait and see here if anyone comments on what a segue is. You will often see segues on places that are near the beach or in the downtown area of cities. A segue has two wheels that are parallel to one another. They're parallel, so they are like this. One wheel's here and another wheel's there. And there is a small platform between the two wheels that you stand on. And they have a handle up here that you hang on to. And it's motorized. It is a motorized personal mode of transportation. So it's similar to a bicycle, but it has two wheels and it's motorized. It's called a Segway. A Segway. And in some cities in the United States, you can rent a Segway in different downtown areas. Sometimes near beaches, there will be Segways as well. Okay, continuing on with the preposition of in, we have the preposition of on. We have public transportation. So examples of this include bus and a train, which we may hear at any point during our lesson, right? Because trains go by my house all the time. A subway is public transportation. A boat. Ferry is a public transportation that travels on the water. And a ferry is it's a flat-bottomed boat that is quite large, and people will get on a ferry to go across a body of water, often to go maybe to an island that is located close to the land, or they can also drive their cars onto a ferry. Ferries are so large that people can drive their car. The car rides on the ferry with them in the car. They're in the car on the ferry, and they will travel maybe to an island that is close by. There are many islands that are only accessible by ferry or boat. Accessible means you cannot get there driving on a bridge. You have to use a watercraft, a form of transportation that takes you over the water. Hello, Marcos. Welcome to our lesson. Okay, we are talking about, yes, Gertrudis, ferries transport people and vehicles. Yes, Layla, I live 1 block away from train tracks. And there is a second set of train tracks not far from us as well. A barge is another type of watercraft. Barges do not typically carry people from one point to another. A barge is a watercraft that usually carries cargo such as grain, oil, things like that. A barge carries cargo. Oh, Jojo, welcome. So everyone, Jojo is the inspiration for this lesson. Okay, Jojo is on my TikTok, and he wanted to know, why do we get in a car but we get on a bus? So I said, that's a little bit much for me to try to do a 1-minute video. And he suggested that we do a lesson on YouTube. So that is why we are doing this lesson. Welcome, Jojo. It is great to see you. Carlos, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you. for your greeting. So we're talking about using the preposition on for modes of transportation. We use the word on for larger modes of transportation that are public, such as a bus, train, subway, boat, ferry, ship, and submarine. And Layla, I don't even notice the train going by any longer. I just don't. And they go by very quickly, so the sound is over fairly quickly. So the other thing we have is we also have the airplane and a helicopter. Those are modes of transportation that we would describe as saying we get on the airplane to go to Europe. I'm going to get on the helicopter to travel to the oil tanker out in the ocean. So now, of course, with English, there are always exceptions, right? It seems that it's the general rule that there are exceptions to many things in English. And we can use the words, the prepositions in and on for the words helicopter and submarine. A submarine is a watercraft. It is shaped like a tube and kind of like a hot dog, and which I have a hot dog right here. So kind of like a hot dog shape. And a submarine goes under the water and can travel through the water at very deep depths. So the submarines can go very deep under the water in the ocean. So Marcos, yes, you say you're going to be in the garden, but you get on the bus. I'm not sure what you mean by inside. So this lesson is focusing on using the prepositions in and on and how they relate to transportation. I had thought about doing more, but it's just too much to look at in, on, and at, and how they can be used all the time. So we're focusing on transportation today. Yes, Layla, you can get on a helicopter, but you can also refer to being in a helicopter, to get in the helicopter, and a submarine is the same way. So let's expand, though, just a little bit. I wanted to share with you the word at and how we use at in relation to modes of transportation. So we have places where you wait for transport, you use at. So Jojo, we talked about on, and yes, you can talk about that you can stand on things that you get on, but a helicopter, it's kind of difficult to stand on. So typically with on, it has to do with things that you can sit on that are modes of transportation that are something that you typically would ride by yourself or maybe just one other person. You ride on a horse, you ride on a motorcycle. On is also used for larger modes of transportation that are often public transportation. So they transport a large amount of people from one place to another. But you wait, like Marcos said, you wait at the bus stop to get on the bus. You wait at the airport to get on the airplane, and you wait at the train station to get on the train. Okay, so guys, we are going to do some exercises. I will give you some sentences, and you are going to choose which preposition is correct for the sentence. Yes, so you would stand on the platform at the train station. That is correct, Tasha. Great suggestion. So here is our first example for our exercise. My dad drives to work. So how does he drive to work, guys? Now this is a convertible, but is still the same answer. if you could type in the chat box your answer for this question. Fill in the blank. I'm going to get a drink while I wait for your responses. Okay. So remember when we talked about private modes of transportation? Private transportation would be things that individual people own. And so we would use in a car. My dad drives to work in a car. Now, Tasha mentioned another word. She mentioned by. And if we were to want to use the word by, we would need to change this sentence. So Tasha, how could we change the sentence to use by? My dad drives to work by a car. We would have to, yes, in a car, or you could say my dad drives to work by car, or he gets to work by car. It would be better to say my dad gets to work by car. You don't need to say by a car. You can eliminate the article. But my dad drives to work in a car is the answer to this sentence. So now let's move on to our next exercise. I got blank a taxi to go to the museum. Yes, my dad goes to work by car. Yes, Marcos. Not by the car, by car to get to work. Or my dad gets in the car to go to work. I got blank a taxi to go to the museum. Okay, students, remember a taxi is a private, it's owned by a person, it's small, it's not a large piece of transportation. It is small, it is box shaped. So we say in. I got in a taxi to go to the museum. Now, if we changed this sentence and said, I got blank a bus to go to the museum, the answer would be I got on a bus to go to the museum. And yes, Alyssa, I got into a taxi would also be a really appropriate answer, and maybe even a better response than in. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's all right, Layla. Sometimes when we're typing, our fingers don't always do what we want. Yes. So I got in a taxi to go to the museum. There's also the suggestion of I got into a taxi. Hello, Diego. Thanks for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. And yes, Marcos, if we changed our sentence to say I got blank a bus, it would be I got on a bus to go to the museum. Okay, let's try our next sentence, which is my class got blank a bus to go on a trip. My class got blank a bus to go on a trip. What is different between Riham? Do you mean what is different between a taxi and a bus? Can you clarify for me? My class got blank a bus to go on a trip. Yes. On. Thank you. Thank you, Marcos. It's so kind of you. Thank you. Riham. Yes. Okay. So Riham, a taxi is a small vehicle. Okay, only a few people can ride in a taxi. You say on if you're talking about a larger vehicle that is something that is used for public transportation. Hello, Diego. It's great to see you. So I'm seeing, yes, my class got on a bus to go on a trip. And Alyssa is reminding us that we could say my class got onto a bus to go on a trip. So I teach young students. So my students are three through 6 years of age. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm so glad, Jojo, you got it. And let's see. I'm thinking about what Marcos is saying. Marcos, can you please clarify what you mean by not at all? I'm not sure. But anyway, so I teach students who are very young, and sometimes we go on what are called field trips. A field trip is when the class will get on a bus and go somewhere to have an excursion, to experience something. And sometimes the students will go to like the zoo. Sometimes we'll go to a farm. We visited a pumpkin farm before, and the students get really excited about riding the bus. But when I have to ride a longer distance with very young children, I don't get very excited because it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud in the bus, and it can get pretty hot because we usually go when the weather is nice. But the students really enjoy riding on the bus. It's a very important event for them. Okay, so let's continue with our lesson and look at our next sentence. The man got blank a truck to go to work. So a truck, meaning a small truck, a personal mode of transportation that only transports a few people. The man got in a truck. Yes, I'm saying in. The man got in a truck to go to work. Remember, in is used when we're talking about smaller pieces of equipment, smaller motor vehicles. We use in. Pamela, hello. Nice to see you. We get in a truck. Other types of vehicles, we in a car, in a van, in a truck. Okay, personal vehicles. The man got in a truck to go to work. Yes. Riham wants to know, how about a train? Can we use on? Yes, for a train, you get on a train. Remember, a train is something that is large and it is public transportation. Many people ride on a train. How are you doing, Pamela? Let's take a look at our next sentence. Students, my sister got blank on her bike. Oh, oh, guess what? I made a mistake on this slide. Oh, funny. So let me fix this slide for us, guys. I did something funny. I gave you the answer. My sister got on her bike to go to the park. Yes, Gertrudis, I know. Oh boy. So we get on small pieces of equipment that you ride on top of. So I drew a picture of, yes, Jojo, I wanted you guys to, get your confidence built up, right? So we're talking about bicycles, and bicycles are things that have two wheels. Bi is a prefix, which means two, bi, two. So we have our bicycle, okay, and a person rides on top of a bicycle, on a bicycle, on. So she rides on her bike to go to the park. And Jonathan, I did this sentence for you since you are an avid bicyclist. So let's go ahead. Thanks, guys, for laughing with me and not laughing at me. Okay, so let's take a look at this next sentence. I get blank the subway to go to school. I get on the subway, or I get in the subway to go to school. Subway is a large piece of transportation, a large mode of transportation, and it's something that has many people that ride on it. Because it follows the rule of being public transportation that is large. If we follow that rule, that's why we say, I get on the subway to go to school. And again, with the subway, it just like the train, it's like on tracks. So we say on. Yes, Reham, that is correct. By a bicycle, one can ride on it. Now, I want to be honest, though, here. Reham, I do hear native speakers sometimes say that they're going to get in the subway. But the correct answer is get on the subway. Does anyone ride on the subway in your city? Yes, I'm glad I can make you laugh, Layla. See, that's the beauty, right, of learning, and teachers make mistakes too, and I think it's important for teachers to make mistakes to help students recognize that mistakes are okay and we learn from mistakes. Yes. Good, Gertrudis. Subway, the metro, the tube, T-U-B-E. The tube is used in British English. Yes, Jojo. That would be correct. On. Dwi. Excellent. So let me know, does anyone ride the subway? Do you get on the subway in your city? I do not have a subway near me. I think the closest subway would be Chicago. And they have what's called an L. And it means it's L, which is abbreviated for elevated train. So their subway does have certain parts that go under the ground, but most of it is built above the ground. The tracks are above the roads, and the L, the elevated train, drives through the city that way. So Tasha, you don't have a subway yet in Krakow. Are they building one? Layla, do you have a subway in your city? Yes, the metro, Marcos. Okay. Marcos, remind me, what city do you live in? If you don't mind me asking. Jojo, do they have a subway in Minneapolis? I'm curious. So Jonathan, you've been on a train a few times. I have been on a subway a very few times. I have been on a train. I have used a train for public transportation quite a few times in my life. Alyssa, never have I ever ridden a subway or a train. And Anna, can we say that them as train for subway, tube, monorail? Okay, so no. If you refer to a train, that is different. The subway is underground. The tube is the same thing as subway. So subway and tube are similar. It just depends on where you live. A monorail is different because it has one rail that the train is on. A monorail, mono, is a prefix for one. And let's see, what was your other question? Yes, I know it is confusing, Anna. Alyssa, no, not very. Okay, so Gertrudis, you've been on a subway a few times in Santo Domingo. Oh, yes, Marcos. I'm sorry. I apologize. I couldn't remember. I knew you were from Brazil, but I couldn't remember the city. So, of course, Rio probably has quite a large subway system. Oh, so Pamela, you do not have a subway in the Dominican Republic. Reham, you like to get on the train. Monorail and subway, yes, they are different. A monorail has one rail, and a monorail is above, it's like above the ground. Okay, Jojo. You can walk to work from your home, so you don't have to ride public transportation. That's nice. Okay, so a train, when you refer to a train, Raman, you don't? Okay. When you refer to a train, Reham, you're referring to the entire structure of the transportation. When you refer to the engine is just the first car of the train. The engine is what powers the rest of the train. The engine is what has the driver in it, or the engineer. The engineer is the person who drives the train. Yes, Tasha, you are correct. I understand that. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order to develop public transportation that requires changes to the city's infrastructure when you have historical buildings. Okay, so let's take a look at this sentence. I wish this sentence was a true statement. And that is, we will go to the Bahamas on a ship or in a ship. Oh, so Gertrudis. Okay, Gertrudis and Pamela, you guys will need to connect so you can learn more about the metro lines. Pamela. So what is the answer to this one, students? We will go to the Bahamas. Remember, this is a large cruise ship, very large. And it's public transportation. So we would say on. Yes. Guys, I think Ramen Lover is my son. Pasha, is that you? I think it's my son. Okay, Pamela Fernandez, on a ship. Yes. Marcos, are you on my live? Oh boy. Okay. I didn't know I was teaching my own son. Now that is funny, guys. We will go to the Bahamas on a ship. Let's go to the Bahamas, right? How awesome is that? I was talking to my phone. I got distracted. Okay. Today was a snow day here. We had some snow, and so I didn't have school today. Okay, so let's continue. Let's get on the van and head to town. Or let's get in the van and head to town. Let's get in the van and head to town, or let's get on the van and head to town. Teacher, can I say ride? Okay, it would be on a bike. You ride on a bike. And Samira, yes, you get in the van. Let's get in the van and head to town. Woohoo! Let's go get some ice cream. What do you guys think? Should we get some ice cream when we go in town? Okay. Remember, a van is a private mode of transportation. And some vans, you can get quite a few people in them, but we still refer to it as in the van. Yes, Maya. I'm not sure if it's Mia or Maya. Okay, how about this one? I enjoy going for a ride on my horse or in my horse. What do you guys think? I enjoy going for a ride on my horse or in my horse. I enjoy going for a ride on my horse or in my horse. Yes, Teresa, I apologize. You told me that before, now that you said that. Oh my goodness, 3 a.m. You are a dedicated student, Teresa. Yes, I'm seeing the answers come in. On my horse. Good. Yes, perfect. And Reham, horse is Horse. You probably just typed it. You get on a horse because it is a mode of personal transportation. Only one, maybe two people can ride on it, so you get on a horse. Okay, yes. So now we have a sentence. We're almost done with the lesson, students. So let's take a look at this sentence and your options that you can use. Yes, Teresa. Samira, it's okay. You have a lot on your mind, Samira. We have two different options, or I'm sorry, which word are we going to use? We have in, on, and at. In, on, and at. So what are we going to place in this sentence? We will get blank the train, blank the train station. So the first blank is Layla is quick on the draw. Let's see what Layla has. We will get on the train at the train station. Okay, let's wait a moment and see other answers to come in. Marcos, Gertrudis, Samira, Jojo with the full sentence. Okay. Teresa, I thought maybe you had told me that before. On the train. Okay, so the answer is we will get on the train at the train station. When we are talking about places where you wait for your transportation, we use the preposition at. We will get on the train. You were correct the first time, Marcos. On the train at the train station. On the train at the train station. Oh, I apologize, Marcos. No, that was Diego. Yes, Teresa. On the train at the train station. So we will get on the train at the train station. This is sign language for train, and this is sign language for at. And this is sign language for on. So when we're talking about the place that you go to use to get on the public transportation, you say at. I'm going to get on the bus at the bus station. If you are inside a room of a building at the bus station, that's when you would use in. Okay? At the bus station is the property. If you are inside a building at the bus station, then you would use in. So now let's write a sentence using the preposition in or on and a mode of transportation. Let's write a sentence using either the preposition in or on and include a mode of transportation. I will wait a moment and see the answers. We are wrapping things up. This lesson took longer than what I was suspecting today. I'm glad that we have used our time well. So Dwee, is your monorail something that is above the ground and your subway is something that is under the ground? The monorail also is a type of train that has one rail that it rides on. Mono is one rail. Okay, let's see. I was waiting for my friend at the airport. Yes, that is correct, Samira. I got on the bus to travel to another city. Good. Great. Give it another moment here. A sentence using the preposition in and on, in or on, and a type of transportation, a mode of transportation. I got on the bus to travel to another city. That is a great sentence, Layla. Thank you for sharing that. I think some of you are maybe thinking and typing your sentences. I go to school by getting on the bus. My family and I usually get in a car to go to the beach. Good. Great. Great sentences, students. I'm on the airplane at the moment. Great, Jojo. That is a great question. Oftentimes those are called trolleys, I think, Alyssa. I traveled to Florida on a plane. Trolleys. Great job, guys. Don't forget, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and my personal YouTube channel is Learn English with Cheri. I'm in my car waiting for my friend. Great. Excellent. I traveled to Florida on a plane. So, Alyssa, I'm on an airplane for a trip. Great job. Alyssa, I will respond to you in the chat. I have another class, so I do need to get going. I got in the car to go around at the bus. I'd like to go in a car, but unfortunately I can't, so I usually go on a bus or on a tram. I hope I could get on the train to go somewhere in my life. We were going on holiday in our old and broken car. And finally, we find ourselves in the hospital. Oh my goodness, that would have been a terrible experience. I was waiting for the bus at the bus station. Okay, so guys, great job today. Thank you so much for attending the lesson. I hope you all have a wonderful day, morning, evening. Okay. On a trolley. Good. I'm glad. Thank you so much, everyone. Check back tomorrow on Learn English Live. I will post the homework. And hello, Javier. Welcome. Everyone have a great rest of your week. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week. See you later. Bye, everyone.